to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company Window Works from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. It's Power Talk Friday. Quick announcement before we get started. You've heard me for the last year or so talk about exciting windows. Well, if you've been wondering what the heck is exciting windows, we are having a open house Zoom meeting on February 17th. It's just a couple of weeks away if you're listening in real time. I want you to go to excitingwindows.biz/EW Zoom, and you can see what we have planned for the day. I promise it's a pen and paper day. All right. So looking forward to seeing you there. Check it out if you're interested. My guest today is Meredith Kallaher. She is a marketing specialist who specializes in helping entrepreneurs like us develop and implement effective social media advertising strategies. Okay. So this is not, what goes in the pictures. This is how to advertise. And I personally have found this to be, a little intimidating. You're just clicking money on your phone and saying, okay, $20, right? But Meredith is here today to help us break it down and understand it a little bit with more clarity so that we can try and do it ourselves, all right? She is now a certified paid traffic specialist, but in previous life, she was 6 years as a CPA with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and she also owned the Scout Guide Miami franchise. So in this conversation today, I know it took a little bit of the mystery and the aura and the intimidation away from me. And I'm expecting that it will help you in the same way. Looking forward to introducing you to Meredith. Hi, Meredith. Thanks so much for joining me on A Well-Designed Business today.
Hey, LuAnn. Thanks so much for having me here.
I'm delighted that you are on the show today, Meredith. Your topic, I love this because, an Instagram strategy, a Facebook strategy. We have talked over and over about best practices for presenting our work on Instagram, particularly as far as the way the 9 grid should look and the cohesiveness and, put the before and after pictures, but put the after picture first and swipe to the before. But we haven't had a lot of conversation about really educating us on a paid strategy or any sort of advertising strategy on these platforms. And I will tell you, actually, the last time we've had it, it's probably 4 years. And I'm sure that this is an area that show is probably almost 99% irrelevant to today's, practices for a paid social media strategy, right?
There has been quite a few changes, in the last 4 years.
Yeah. So you are very familiar. I love that you're very familiar with the interior design world, that you've got a lot of expertise in marketing and advertising to the interior design world. Do you want to share a little bit of that with us, and then we'll hop into the Instagram strategy?
Sure. So I live in Miami, Florida. And about 7 years ago, I opened the franchise of the Scout Guide. And I bet a lot of your listeners are familiar, but not everybody. The Scout Guide is a national publication that is in 65 cities in the United States, and they feature locally owned businesses. They like to their readers to learn how to live a well-curated life wherever they are. And it's a collection of businesses, and it is like a coffee table magazine, if you've never seen it before, a really pretty small print publication. And interior design, it was a great place for interior designers to showcase their work. In most cities, like me in Miami, we only, it was kind of we would only feature a couple of each businesses because we wanted it to be a collection of different types of businesses. So we'd have each year I'd work with 2 or 3 great interior designers, and it was so fun because we worked in print. We worked to tell a story of the business with one photo. Like we didn't have very many words, so we wanted to try to capture the whole story of his or her business. And then they were always fun for us to have, for me and the other Scout Guide business owners, because we also featured all the businesses on like a influencer type marketing campaign. If you can see on Instagram, the national has the Scout Guide is an Instagram handle, and then every city like TSG New Orleans, TSG Atlanta, so the interior designers always provided fabulous content, right? Because their work is so beautiful. So yeah, so that was my experience. And then we talked a little, I think that a couple of weeks ago, you interviewed Beth from the Dove Agency in Dallas, which is actually where I'm from originally. And so I was tight with one of the Scout Guide owners there, and she's now a partner in the Dove Agency. Brittany is Beth's
that's amazing.
partner. Yeah. So it's funny.
Oh, that's
world.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's so funny how small the world really is, right?
It really is.
And what's interesting to me is that you have these connections to the interior design world, and of course to Brittany and Beth of the Dove Agency. But yet we were connected by a podcast interview service. Like, how funny is that, right?
It's crazy. Well, I was so excited. They've been great, by the way, but they've never sent me a podcast that I had listened to organically before until I received your podcast. But because I had talked to Brittany about working with the Dove Agency for doing some marketing with them a couple years ago when I decided not to do the Scout Guide Miami anymore. And so I came to your podcast to learn as much as I could about marketing. I already knew about a little bit about marketing interior designers, but and I loved it. And I guess, of course, I wouldn't even say, I don't know if I'm an amateur interior designer, but I'm definitely an appreciator. I just am in awe of the work that they do. So I love your podcast. Yeah.
I love it. Mm-hmm. So we call you a design enthusiast.
Yes,
that's what we call you.
Thanks. I like it. I'll take that. Yeah.
I love it. And you're right. When you are working with designers and in marketing capacity, hey, you can't beat it, because if you got to market an accountant, you don't really have the eye candy, right? But with designers, it's like, that's a lot of great images and stuff to use. So It is a good field to work within. So now, though, you are a specialist. I actually read on your website that you have a certification as a paid traffic specialist. And I love that because, I'm all for learning things, bootstrapping it, learning it from the School of Hard Knocks. Everything I know is from the School of Hard Knocks, right? But right. I also have great respect for somebody that has been through the process working with their ideal client, in your case, interior designers, but then also has gone through something like this paid certification. So to me, it's like, okay, so we have both sides of the coin here. And so talk to us. What do we know, let's assume that we are doing a good job with our images and our captions and the things like that. Is that really obviously the first step? But then when we start to think about what money, how much money, how do we decide what money to throw towards an Instagram ad campaign, and what images to do, like, where do we start with all of that, Meredith?
Well, can I back up a tiny bit? Like, one reason I was excited to talk to you about, one reason I was excited to talk to you about a page strategy for interior designers on Instagram is because the advice has changed fairly recently. And I bet a lot of your listeners who might have gone to a Facebook ads manager or even a marketing expert, until 2021, and I'll tell you why in a second, most people would have said, don't ever pay to grow your Instagram or your Facebook organic following. And I'm just not talking about like not paying for followers or bots or something. I just mean, They would have said, don't use ads, to grow your followers. You only want to grow your email list because you own your email list. I bet this is sounding familiar to people. And you want to put money into ads that grow your email list. But it's changed this year, and I won't bore you with all the details, but some people are probably familiar with this too, that Apple updated their privacy rules this year. It was called their iOS 14 update. It became available, I guess, in April of 2021, and people started downloading it then. And Facebook spent $1 billion fighting Apple on this privacy update, and they lost. And what it is we now can opt, as Apple users, we can opt out of being tracked by apps, which sounds great. I mean, most people want more privacy. So 80%, like the number I saw last summer, it's not really important, but like 80% of people were opting out of being tracked. Well, that just hosed Facebook ads, because that's the magic of Facebook ads, is we were able to track people when they left Facebook and they went to your website. We could put a Facebook pixel on your website, and that made the ads real powerful, right? And so we could do things like we could, anybody that had visited your website before, we could send them an ad. And then anybody that had been to your website before, we could use their profiles and go find lookalike audiences on Facebook. That was super powerful. And it still is, because everybody hasn't downloaded, and it's only on Apple products. So if someone's using an Android or their desktop, it hasn't changed, but there's been huge changes. And so, so it makes the email list a little bit less valuable. Do you see why? Because just as far as Facebook ads on Apple, because we can't track those people, you see, right? Or we can't use it.
Yeah, no, it's what's interesting is as a business owner, we love that feature, but as a human person, we're like, what are you doing? Like, you go and look at something, and all of a sudden it's in front of you, like the hydro row machine is chasing my booty like crazy. And I have stood very strong the last 5 weeks of December and January, going, no, I'm resisting, because I already have the mirror and I already have a Peloton and a treadmill. I'm like, LuAnn, what are you doing?
I know, that's hard. Those are nice. I've used those at Orange Theory. But that
hydro rower, I clicked on one thing for it, and I'm telling you what, I'm waiting for one to just drive right by my front door and go, here it is, LuAnn, here it is.
It might. I know. The people are resorting to crazy things because So I did not. Now there is a thing, just for those of you that maybe when you see this, I mean, it is kind of fun to get ads that are tailored to you, and so I did not opt out of traffic, but because you're still going to get ads. I mean, theoretically, you will probably still get ads, but they just might be not for what you want. I mean,
so that's good.
Yeah,
that's an interesting clarification. I'm still going to get ads, but I don't want ads about grow a herb garden, because I'm never going to do that.
Or like cat food if you don't have a cat, or something like that. Right. Yeah. So
okay. But this has made it more challenging, because anybody who has opted out, and of course, obviously, I had no idea I could opt out, because there I am still getting chased by all of these things, but. So, but that it is only for Apple. So all of the Androids and the Galaxies and the Samsungs and all the things. Yeah. So, but it has made it more challenging. It isn't a slam dunk. And so now, what are you doing? You're helping us develop a new strategy for it.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, we're still using that. Like, we're still doing we're using the Pixel. We're uploading email addresses, because some people haven't opted out, and some people were on the Android. So we're still trying it. It's just not as effective. If you're running a Facebook ad, and you can still run it to people that are on the app. Let me explain. So like, if I have 5,000 followers on Instagram, I can say, hey, Facebook, and one thing we said we were going to clarify, and I didn't clarify. You guys, when I say Facebook ads, I mean Facebook and Instagram ads. They're owned by the same person. Obviously, we all know that, Mark Zuckerberg, but it's literally the same tool. It's called Facebook Ads Manager, but that's where you buy your Instagram ads too. So you could run a whole only Instagram ad campaign, but you'd run it in Facebook Ads Manager. So going forward, if it's okay, I'm just going to keep saying Facebook ads, but I mean either
right.
One. Is that okay? Because that's what the marketing people do. That in marketing people, that's how they do it. If y'all are talking to a potential marketing person, they'll call both Facebook and Instagram ads Facebook ads for now. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to set up an ad campaign in Facebook Business Manager. We can say, send this ad campaign to my 5,000 Instagram followers. And it doesn't matter if they've opted out or whatever, they're still, they are follow you on Instagram, so you can send them an ad. So because the email list has become less favorable, isn't working as well, and even your website visitor pixels, that makes your Instagram followers more valuable. The same thing with your Facebook followers. And we can track activity around Facebook and Instagram. So we can say anybody that likes, LuAnn's business page. Now, Facebook doesn't for really big accounts, and you never know, but people that follow Interior Design of America, if that was a Facebook page, we could maybe send an ad to all of those people. But the point is where before 2021, when a marketing expert might tell you, never invest dollars in growing your Instagram and Facebook following, your organic following. Now it could be smart to do that. And it's actually not very expensive to run an ad campaign to help grow your following, because Facebook's happy to help you get them more users, so they don't charge very much for you to advertise to get more Instagram and Facebook followers. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, it does. So if we just go with the premise that, look, I never want anybody to abandon their email list, but we're not really talking about growing your email today. So I'm okay that, this is another level of your marketing. That's all. So we need to understand it and how to do it. So if someone is interested in, I want to grow, I want to take my Instagram followers from 500 to 5,000, that's what we're talking about, how to do that,
or
right?
Your Facebook page. Okay. Yeah. And let me talk, I think I do love your email list, you guys, but let's talk about, before you start growing your Instagram, be sure that you have a system to turn your Instagram followers into customers. Just meaning in your profile, tell them how to work with you. So if you want them to click the link to maybe book a discovery call or click a link to visit your website, to whatever you want them to do to become your customer, you tell them in your profile. And then you have that set up, if you could go to a Calendly call calendar. I'm not sure. How do you think most interior designers, do they have people call them, book a call with them?
Yeah, I think that a lot of interior designers have a form that you fill out on the website that says, I'm interested in your services, and then the designer will collect some basic information that will let them know if it's their target client. So, you know what I mean? So because somebody might be coming in and, thinking that the services are going to be, $20 an hour. And so they have questions designed to kind of first level filter, but then, the second step would be a discovery call. So I think from Instagram, it really probably is here, go to my website and fill out, for more information or something like that.
And you guys, I would send them directly to the URL of the form, the intake form, or where not like the front page of your website, unless that's where it is. And tell them, I mean, I know we are limited to words, so you have to play with it, but say, inquire about working with me by clicking here, tell them what you want them to do. And then when they get there, real clear, fill this, I can't wait, I want to hear more about you, fill this form out. Just make sure you have a little system. That part's not hard, but you don't want to invest dollars in Instagram followers if you haven't thought about how you're going to turn them into clients, right?
Good point. Good point. Love it.
Yeah. And then, okay. So, I'm going to walk people through. I think, so as manager, I did go get a certification because I really wanted to understand how to use that tool and how to help people. And it is super complicated, but if you've looked at it before, you guys, and you're like, this is too much. I thought I would walk you through how to set this campaign up, because it is one of the easier campaigns to set up. So does that sound good, LuAnn?
That sounds great to me.
Okay. And before I do that, I want to tell you what it is. So what I have seen work really well, and this worked for a dentist. And I mean, like you talked about, interior designers have beautiful feed and great, photos to share. It's really hard for dentists on social media, at least to find. And she, but since have done this with a few people, but what we do is my favorite thing would be for you, the designer, to turn the iPhone on yourself. And it could really be an iPhone, maybe with a microphone plugged in, but just maybe outdoors. The sound quality is always better outdoors than inside. And then you just say, hey, my name's Meredith Kallaher. I'm an interior designer here in Miami. I love to work with whoever you like to work with. Come follow me on my Instagram feed. On Instagram, I talk about X, Y, and Z, and tell them what you talk about. Like for me, I would say, I love to talk about marketing, what it's like to live with 3 teenagers, #NotEasy, and my beautiful, and fun things to do in Miami or something like that. Just give them a couple bullets of what goes on your account, and then say, swipe up and follow me. Or they just switch to that link click thing. We just figure out, you might say, click the link and follow me,
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? They just switched in Instagram to the link click instead of the swipe up. We just make sure whatever's going to happen. Yeah. It's in it.
I don't pay attention enough.
For organic people, I was super excited. You don't have to have 10,000 followers now.
That's good.
But so you tell them to follow you, and then whenever they swipe up or click the link, it takes them to your profile. So in the video, do tell them, say, click the link and hit follow and follow along. So really tell them what to do. They're going to go to your profile and you want them to hit the follow button. And it works. And so then you'll get to nurture them just like you would, an email follower. And then, hope to drive them to become one of your clients. And
so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So that little video there, are we putting that on the main feed? Are we putting that in stories? Are we putting it once a month? Are we putting it once a week? How are we doing this?
We did it in stories, but it actually you could put it in the feed because there's a button they can push to go to your follow. So you could form, just think of your word. You could actually do for ads 2 different videos in the same campaign, one for your feed and one for your stories. I say that because if you were doing it in your feed, you could make it a little longer than for stories. But anyway, remember, so you don't even have to publish it onto your Instagram account. We're going to take that and go to Ads Manager and create a traffic campaign. This is where I give people the details. So you're then that is you're going to put, I would say, don't put less than $500 a month. Okay. It's just because Facebook ads have gotten expensive for a lot of different reasons. A lot of it being because of iOS 14. So you just need to give Facebook enough money to do their job. You have to spend more, by the way, to get them to leave and give you their email. But for a traffic campaign, at least $500. Dr. Patty, hey, Dr. Patty, the dentist here in Miami, she got a new follower for about $2 each. And she's a dentist, you guys. I think you could get them cheaper as an interior designer. So that would mean she got $250 a month with that $500 spend, And the thing is, these are good followers. I'm not opposed to if you are if it's very important for your business to have lots of followers, there's certain robots. I don't mean buying followers. So I'm open to lots of things, but for interior designers, for dentists, we only want good quality followers, right? These are good followers because we pick who we're advertising to. So you're going to pick to your demographic of potential customer, and then they, on their own free will, decide to click and then follow you, right? So they're great. I like potential customers, and so do you want me to tell you how to set it up? or do you have any other questions?
Okay, so let me just review
Okay.
and then we're going to do that. So I actually, it was lost on me that this video that you asked us to start with is what is going to be our paid promo.
Yeah,
like that part
exactly.
was lost on me. So I eventually figured it out. So we're creating this video and this is the post that we're going to promote.
Yep,
And so
exactly.
once we have this video created, we're going to go into Ads Manager. And now what's the next step?
Yeah, and you're going to, so the first thing the ads manager asks you to do is create a campaign. And this is where immediately before it gets confusing because there's 16 objectives you can pick from. So you're going to pick traffic. That's your objective. Okay.
Okay.
Because you want to send traffic to a website is what that means.
Okay.
But the website's going to be your Instagram profile. But I'm going to tell you how to do that. Now, side note, if you have a funnel set up with your Facebook business page, meaning you post there every day, you tell people how to book business with you, like we talked about on Instagram, there is a campaign, and you go to Ads Manager, you can do the same kind of video. You just decide if you're going to run on Facebook stories or on the feed. But there is an objective that said, like those 16 objectives I just mentioning, instead of picking traffic for Facebook, you would pick Facebook page likes. That's actually an objective. They just don't have it for Instagram.
Okay. So if we're on Instagram, we're selecting traffic. If we're doing this intentionally for Facebook, we're going to say for Facebook likes.
Exactly. Yep, you got it.
Okay.
And then so that's the campaign level. Then there's 3 levels in Ads Manager. I just told you about the campaign level. Then you're going to go to the ad set level, and you guys, in case people are really setting this up, I don't usually. You can set your budget at the campaign level or the ad set level. I always do the ad set level. So when you're setting your campaign, you pick your objectives, just say budget off there, and then you go to your ad set. It automatically takes you there. The tool takes you to ad set next. The ad set is where you pick your audience, you say how much money you're going to spend, and all that good stuff. So I'm love numbers, but I'm doing this math in my head. If you want to spend about $500 a month, you would just do one ad set. But you might decide this is amazing. You want to do a couple different ad sets, right? But let's say most of your designers, right, they probably focus on one city, or do you think a lot of people focus nationally?
No, I think the designers that focus nationally probably have a marketing person that they just say, "Go do this for me."
Okay. So let's do this. Okay, so if we're doing one city or even one state, you're not going to pick a bunch of demographic interests like that. People make this mistake. So I want you to, at the ad set level, you're going to put 500 divided by 31 days. You put a daily budget in. So let's say it's $25, whatever equals to about $500 a month. Sorry, I should have done the math.
Okay.
And then you're going to pick your audience. You guys just pick the zip codes. And so pick either the city, like if I know I want all of Miami, but if I know most of my customers come from one of 8 zip codes, go ahead and just put those zip codes in for the location. And then if you know that like women are the only ones that ever book your services for some reason, you could narrow down the gender and possibly the age. If you knew that no one under, say, 26 ever booked your business, then you could say only women over 26, but maybe men follow you too. But you actually want to think about who follows you that would become your customer, right? And then, but don't start selecting likes, interior design, and all the interest options, because it makes it too small and Facebook can't do its thing. So you really just want to, for a local ad campaign, just do the demographics. Does that make sense?
Okay.
It's tempting.
Yes, it does.
You can we're just going to use those interest demographics if you're for national ads. All right.
Okay. Okay, so for local, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to recap it again. We're going to create this little introductory video.
Yeah.
And what I love about this video is we're not going to ramble on. This is like hello,
no.
Earth to LuAnn. We're not going to ramble on.
Yeah.
We're going to say, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm here in this city. I love to work with these types of clients. Come follow me because on my account, I like to talk about, kitchen design, bath design, and, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So click the link, follow me, and click the link.
Click the link
here and hit follow.
Yeah,
and hit follow.
And I kind of make it. You said it exactly what I said, but make it more about. Think about that your Instagram feed is fun, and like while they'll enjoy following you, because you're gonna. Of course, you only want to attract. I don't know. You are going to inspire them to become your customer once they follow you. So, I just don't make it sound like they have to be someone that's got to hand you money to come follow you. You know what I mean? Like say you're going to
you're saying this is what I'm going to do. You're saying this is what I'm going to do on my page. I'm going to talk about I'm a kitchen and bath specialist, and I'm going to 1 week I'm going to show you bathroom tiles, the next week I'm going to show you backsplashes, blah blah blah, right? Whatever it is that you like to do, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and then so that's the first thing. Then the second thing is that we're going to go to Ads Manager, and we're going to click on Create a Campaign, and from here we have 16 options. But your suggestion is we're going to click traffic, okay, and we're going to not click on set a budget here, and then we're going to go to the next thing, which is to set an ad level, and here we're going to pick the budget. And so for example, you're suggesting 500, and then we're going to say daily budget, which I did the calculation while you were talking, is about $16.50 a day.
Perfect,
right?
Thank you.
And so we're going to say that, and then we're going to pick the zip codes of our existing best clients, right?
Yeah.
So we don't say I do work in 16 towns. We say the 5 towns that I really have great clients are my ideal client. They're the ones that I'm happy to work with. They have the budgets that I like to work with. We're going to pick those. And how many zip codes do you think? Is there a positive or a negative by too many or too little zip codes?
No. Well, too little, but not too many if you're just focusing on a city, because of the way Facebook.
So let me ask you something. So you're accustomed to Miami, which probably has multiple zip codes. If a town, so most of our regular towns in America, even a town with 60 or 70,000 people is going to be one zip code. So if that's my reality, would I pick 5 zip codes that surround the town that my business is located in, or should I just stick to my town? Like
I would for your Instagram following I would make it a little bigger. I would pick the 5 surrounding.
Okay.
It's just, unless you're really hardcore and you have absolutely no interest in having extra people, you'll get more followers that way. And they might know someone that might need work closer in, but also, the ad, if it gets tiny, if you're in a real small town, you guys, the ad won't do as well. It'll just be a little more expensive. You won't do as well as Dr. Patty did with $2 a follower, but you might spend $5 a follower, and you might love those.
I hear you. No, but I really just wanted to make sure that, like if I take where I am in New Jersey, I would put Livingston, Short Hills, Roseland, Caldwell, you know what I mean? Like Morristown. I would pick, 8 or 10 of the towns where I know the best leads come from. But I wanted to make sure that you wouldn't have said to me, don't put 10 towns. So we can put 10 towns is the point.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so that's that level. Is there a next step? Do we just hit go?
Yeah.
We have to,
obviously
we have to put our credit card and all that stuff in.
Yeah, that you will have put in when you set up Ads Manager tool. They don't let you get very far without putting your credit card in. Yeah, and I just go ahead and put it in, you guys, as soon as it asks you the first time, because they'll start They will not charge your account until you say go. But they will send you a bunch of messages. Your credit card's not in here, But there is one more level. You called it was the ad. What you just talked about was actually called the ad set level. And then the third level is the ad level. And that's where you upload your video. You could write some copy. Don't stress about it. Just you could actually create 2 ads, and you could put the same video just twice, and you could put copy in one of them that says, my name's LuAnn. I'd love for you to follow my fun Instagram account or something, just one sentence. And then on the other one, you could make it longer and really basically write what you're saying, describe your account, and Facebook will A/B test them for you. Like if you put 2 ads in an ad set, they'll start showing both, and then they'll just show the one that works better. So that could be interesting. But if that's too complicated, just put the video with one copy, and then it's going to ask you to what call to action do you want, and you would think it'd be like sign up, or they add a little button. Everybody there's been proven that learn more works better. So that's sort of interesting, because it's not like intuitively what you would think to use, but it's just less like bossy, I guess, like saying learn more. And so you pick that one, and then the URL. This is important. This is where you put you're running a traffic ad, which website? So you put www.instagram.com/ mine would be Meredith Kallaher, your username, not your name. My username is Meredith Kallaher on Instagram. So but if I was doing Scout Guide, I'd put Instagram.com / TSG Miami, whatever your handle is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't put what you're making sure we understand is when it's asking for URL, it's not our regular URL. It's our Instagram handle URL.
Yeah, that's where we're going to send. They're going to watch this video, and we're going to send them to that URL. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, they're going to click on the video, and it's going to take them off of Instagram, which we don't want to do. We want to keep them there and let them sign up from there. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. And I have to say, if the Facebook, Instagram, thingy does the A/B testing themselves, you don't have to there's no reason not to put 2 different sets of copy with the same video and see, do people like short and sweet? Do they like the more blah blah blah? Because I guess too, so that's like A/B testing with copy, and then is there A/B testing with 2 different videos, or no? Then you have to do your own. You have to say, a video when I talk about myself does better than a video when I show a work site, or would you just upload 2 videos in this same process and let Facebook Manager A/B test it? You know what I'm asking you?
Yes, and the way I do it, and I think it's probably across the board, is at the $16 a day ad spend, because that's what you calculate, and that's the number you put in. They ask you for your daily budget, so they'll see. That's obvious. But I don't want you to A/B test too much at the same time. As you get a bigger daily spend, you could test 2 videos and 2 copy at the same time. But what you could do is, if you wanted to test copy first, you could put 1 video with 2 different forms of copy and give it 2 weeks. I give it at least 2 weeks. And then you can see just which one Facebook ended up showing more. That's the winner. And then you could start a new campaign with that version of copy with 2 different videos. You see what I mean?
Okay.
So,
okay. I like that. I see what you're saying. First, do a 2-week test to see which copy is resonating, and then do 2 different videos with that good copy, and then see what happens there.
Yes. Yeah.
Very interesting.
If you wanted to do it all, and then all at the same time, you could just spend more. I would spend more. I'd spend like $40, and then you could do 2 videos and 2 copy. You have 2, you could create those, and you basically have 4 ads, because you put 1 video with copy A, then put video 1 with copy B, video like that. But it gets to be too many with the $16 spend, and I think it's fine to just test it over time. And you might love this, because that was another thing. If this could be something that you do all year, if you're liking the results, and what a great way to grow your following as you're creating awesome content. I think hashtags work too, but I always tell people you have to either invest time or money in your marketing. It's not magic, so this is definitely a way. You might decide you want to do this all year. And if you do, you can try different videos. You could have somebody that works with you create the video, you guys, you got to come follow LuAnn. Her Instagram's so awesome. And this is what we do. We love to show behind the scenes and whatever. Or if you had a customer that was willing to show her work, and you could for sure, because I know, and maybe some of your clients do, or your listeners have gotten savvy with creating videos. I mean, y'all, your images are so beautiful. You could try an image with text overlay for this, follow LuAnn, like it's written out as you watch pretty pictures, swipe up. I've just never tried that. But it
I
could
see.
work.
Instead of actually a video of yourself or your client or your employee talking, just try your images and then speak in the text to what's happening.
You could try. Yeah.
That's an interesting test to try as well. Right. I like that
Mm-hmm.
idea. It's to your point is, we want to actually have a strategy that is more than I'm interested in this today. You know what I mean? It's like, so this month I'm going to try a video that I do. Next month, I might try a video that my junior designer does. The next month, I might try a client testimonial video. The next month, I might try images, or this 2-week period, blah, blah, blah. But the idea is that I think the tough part is not to lose steam. The tough part is when we are doing this ourselves, as opposed to when we're at the level where we task somebody to do it, is to not lose steam on it. And what I have found, I'd be interested if you have any strategy that you've worked with for your clients if they're DIYers, is it's got to be blocked out. It's got to be on. I have one chairman of the board client where every other Monday, she has blocked out like 2 to 4 hours where she gathers all of her pictures from the last 2 weeks. She puts the relevant information under the pictures because she knows what they are and what the technical terms are for them and what's important in the picture. She writes 1 or 2 blog posts, and then she sends it off to somebody that she has hired that then edits the photographs and then schedules them and posts them and puts the little printing and all the crap on for Instagram. But it is literally like brushing teeth. If this happens every 2 weeks without fail, it doesn't not get done because it's in her calendar to do it.
It's so
and
smart.
I admire that so much. I really do. The fortitude to just keep doing it, right?
It's so smart. And what's smart about that is that she hired someone to do the I would think more boring tasks and tasks that she can hire out. I mean, if you can't hire someone to be in your brain to write the copy, you might
Right.
hire a great copywriter. But I mean, sometimes it is easier to, come up with the idea and write it yourself. But I love that she has someone do that stuff for her. Yeah, and it's a way to grow. I mean, that if you can get consistent like that, you really can grow quickly. But you also have to be patient. That's one thing I do see DIYers do is give up quickly, and I get it, but it's better to like decide, you know what, I'm going to try this strategy for 6 months no matter what, and
Right.
be consistent and try it for 6 months. And instead of trying it for a week, oh, it looks like it's not working, I'm going to stop. I'm going to try or switch to, you need to, Facebook, especially now for some reason with this iOS 14 changes, you really need to start an ad and not touch it for 2 weeks. And yeah, and a lot of people, the feeling is, I want to like look at it for 3 days. It doesn't look like it's doing well. I want to turn it off. I wouldn't. I'd commit to that, whatever 16 times $16 times 14 days is, because the reason for that is the algorithm is trying to find the right people to that will respond to your ad, and it's taking longer to do that now on Instagram and Facebook.
Oh, that's an interesting point. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
it's and it's funny because all marketing,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be in it for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
You have to decide on your marketing budget. You have to commit to it, and figure out what works. Don't just throw the stuff at the wall and walk away and not analyze. But you do, to your point. So I love that 6-month window. So some marketings we might do a 3-month window. Some marketings we might, like when you work with a PR rep, the advice is to sort of give it a year,
Yeah.
right? So it's nice to know what each type of marketing a good window for testing is, and to pay attention to it throughout it, like you're talking about with the A/B testing, what's working, what's not working, but not to expect miracles and not to expect it. Oh, I did something for 2 weeks and nothing happened, right? Because that's just, you just wasted the money. That's like somebody that just says, well, I'm going to get a $10,000, you're going to get my entire home painted interior, it's $10,000, and thinking that's going to just make it all perfect. It's like, well, that's one part of it, but now we have to have pretty beautiful furniture, beautiful window treatments, right? So 2 weeks is one part of it. It's not the whole thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Love it. I love it. So this is pretty clear. It's pretty clear, especially for, any of us that are DIYers. It's a matter of just following the steps. It's a matter of evaluating, analyzing. It's a matter of blocking the time to do it consistently. One thing I can tell you is this happened to us in the beginning, just as a like a little be warned type of a thing. I remember we were running Facebook ads for the very first LuAnn Live in 2019. And I was not the one doing it. And here's how the disconnect happened, is because my husband, who watches the checkbook, he knows that I'm the one doing Facebook, right? Because he doesn't get involved in that. But I also had tasked out the ad strategy to someone. And then that someone was no longer with me. Well, we never turned it off.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it wasn't that much money. It was like $150 a month. Okay. But after like 3 months, he's like, well, and he didn't know it had to do with LuAnn Live. He just assumed it was WindowWorks marketing.
Right.
And so finally he said to me, he goes, what is it that you're spending on Facebook for WindowWorks at $150 a month? And I was like, I'm not spending anything on Facebook. And he's like, oh no, sweetie, you are. I'm like, no, but I'm not. And so then I had to go in and I was like, holy cannoli, we never turned it off. And so, you got to pay attention. You learn. I was so glad that the lesson wasn't that much, wasn't, what that. It could have been $500 a month, right? And then LuAnn would have been in big trouble. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That is it.
You got to pay attention.
And there, you'll see, you guys, when you go in there, when you set your budget, you can set an end date. Now, if you're paying attention.
Oh, good.
And I only do that if something really is ending, meaning like there's a live event or there's a launch. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't do it for like this Instagram follower campaign, or if I'm trying to like offer free value for an email address, because you don't want it to accidentally go off if you didn't mean for it to, and it's going awesome.
But you have to know that if you don't set an end date and you've set a budget of $16 a day, you're gonna spend $16 a day until you say no.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. That was good advice. Yeah, that's a good warning.
Yeah, no, I mean, and all I'm saying is I'm putting myself back into the shoes of when I knew I was going to say enough to be dangerous. I didn't even know enough to be dangerous. Okay, and that is the beginning stage of entering into something. If you really are brand new about it, it's these little like, okay, let me make sure I'm consciously spending my money and not just like I was unconsciously for 3 months advertising an event that was long done.
Oh my God. Yeah. That is not fun.
No, it wasn't. And it was a fun conversation for Lou and Vin when I finally figured it out.
All right.
Anyway, so I love it. I love it. Great advice. Great, starting advice. I think what we're going to do, Meredith, is we're going to create a goodie for this episode where we just print out these steps so that they're clear and easy to follow. Diana on my team is an absolute whiz with this stuff. And so I'll ask her to create a little goodie. So if you guys want to get the download, you're just going to go to LuAnnNigara.com/goodies and it will be there. But also, Meredith, I'm sure that you also have resources. I read several of your blog posts, very good information there. Would you share with all of us how we connect with you and maybe access some of your resources?
Thanks so much. Yeah. So I have a website, meredithkallaher.com, and that's Kallaher with a K, but you'll see it on the podcast cover art. And I share, right now my blog is called Building Her Business Blog. I started my Facebook ads business about 15 or 16 months ago. And it's been really fun. I've been writing weekly the steps I took. And it could be interesting for some of the interior designers listening who have their own business. So that's just at meredithkallaher.com blog. And I do have a free resource for that if you have been, I don't know, it doesn't really apply to brand new ads, people running ads, but if you've run them before, there were some changes that came up with iOS 14. And I just sort of have a checklist of what's changed and what you need to do. And it could be interesting for anyone that wants to start running ads. So,
oh, good. And is that right on your website, or is that a special URL?
You know what? I'll put it also I'll put meredithkallaher.com and how about well-designed / well-designed.
Okay.
Okay.
Right
there for you guys.
meredithkallaher.com / well-designed.
Thank you. / yes. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All the checklists. That's what's so helpful when you start to do these things, because who the heck wants to fast forward back and forth through a podcast to get the tips? Yeah. It's like, oh my God. So, okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It is a little bit of an anxiety provoking thing for those of us that really don't understand it, because, look, $500 a month is $500 a month. And I for one, don't ever want to just, throw the money at the wind. So it's nice to have a little strategy on how to do it. So I appreciate your coming today, Meredith, and explaining that to us. Thank you so much.
Oh, great. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. I just thought when you were saying that, it's awesome. If you're working hard on curating your beautiful Instagram feed, I do think this would be a smart purchase or a smart investment of your money. But also, sometimes, when we put our money where our effort follows our money sometimes. And I don't know, if you decide to start growing your account with paid traffic, then it, might inspire you to make sure you are consistently posting and growing your account, But I love being here. I was a little starstruck when I got to come talk to you since I've listened to you. So thank you for having me. Yeah.
Well, that's sweet. Thank you so much.
It was awesome. Yeah.
If you did not catch all those steps, like I said, it's okay. We have a goodie doc ready for you with all of the details. Go to LuAnnNigara.com / goodies. And when you sign up, it will be emailed to you. All right. Now, the thought I had, when Meredith started to say pay for followers, right? It's not the way we think about the paying for followers, which is a huge no-no, the whole bot thing and all of that. This is a new strategy born of the changes stemming from Apple's privacy update. Before now we can opt out of being tracked by apps, including Instagram and Facebook, right? So businesses using social platforms to advertise had to get creative. And the thing is, Instagram and Facebook still allow you to run ads to your current followers. So this thought is, if you grow your followers, you'll have more people to advertise to. But how do you increase your followers quickly? Well, money helps. You pay Instagram and Facebook to show your ad to a fairly broadly selected group of people who don't yet follow you, in the hopes that they will become a follower, right? It's kind of like when you used to put an ad in the paper back in the day, right? So what kind of ad is effective toward getting people interested enough to click the link in the ad and also click to follow you? Meredith suggests video ads, the kind that I'll just say I shy away from. But she also said we can use videos where we showcase what people love to see. Maybe for you, it's videos of you, but for others, it might be a show and tell for something especially amazing in a project, right? And it's a bonus if you can get the client to speak about what made the transformation so special. It doesn't have to be you in front of the video. It could be your client, right? So once you've used paid ads to grow your following, you can move on to the second tactic, testing ads based on different targeting options Facebook and Instagram provide. Because remember, even though users may have opted out of being tracked, their activity within Facebook and Instagram is still tracked, right? It's closely tracked. There's a huge amount of data waiting for you to help you send relevant ads to well-targeted segments of your followers. But before you start messing with creating Instagram or Facebook ads in Facebook Ad Manager, Meredith had some great advice. She said, think things through first. When someone does click the link in our ad and follows us, what do we want them to do next? We should be setting up our profiles regardless of whether we organically show up in the feed or they see us through targeted advertisements, because we want to make it clear what action they should take once they're on our profile and our social page, right? We need to tell them exactly what to do. So in our profile section, we are going to add a call to action and include a link to a specific page on our website, such as an intake form. So it would be something like, interested in working with me? Tell me about your project here, and then paste the link to your intake form. Sending targeted ads to new followers is one way to increase revenue. Another way is to sell more products to your same clients that you already have. And premium hardwood and resilient flooring supplier Rebel Woods, our sponsor, cuts out the middleman and makes selling designer hardwood flooring easier for you. All right. Learn more about their designer training program and their trade pricing model at revelwoods.com/pro-account. Okay. revelwoods.com/pro-account. So what can you do today? I would say get the goodie doc. Start thinking about what videos would be engaging enough to get people to hit the follow. And most importantly, schedule the work of doing this into your week. Sometimes we have to force ourselves to put down what's immediate and take up what will help us down the line. Maybe that's blocking 9 to 10 o'clock on Thursdays every other Thursday or every other Friday afternoon. Whatever it is, Meredith's advice is to stick with it. Commit to 6 months so that you can test, learn, iterate, and try again. The name of the game here is don't give up too quickly. That's what I heard her say, and I hope that you understood that from her as well. Then I have to say, anything that's worth doing is worth doing and giving it a shot. If it feels important to you, make sure you explore it, you give it your best shot, and you commit to it long enough, no matter if it's advertising or if it's just being in business, right? Just showing up every day, doing your best, and decide to be excellent. Thank you so much for joining me again today. This podcast is a production of WindowWorks, your resource for custom window treatments and awnings. To learn how we can help you on your next interior design project, go to www.windowworks-nj.com. And if you're interested in working with me on your business, either through masterminds or one-on-one coaching, or you want to know how to get my book, The Making of a Well-Designed Business, or you just want to know what's going on in the podcast land and where I'm going to be, all of that is found at LuAnn Nigara.com. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.